everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, weekend college football happenings, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roscoe. With me here remotely this week, David Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How's it going?
I've been better.
Yeah. Hence the remote.
Yes, we're remote this week. I have been a little under the weather. Kathy also has been under the weather. So rather than spread the germs, we figured remote would be better for today.
Mm-hmm.
So we can still have the show because Lord knows we don't want to do more than what it would be like 3 weeks for that show, right?
Something like that.
Weeks. 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully that was our last break until Christmas too. I know we've been having a lot of skippages, but we're back.
Skippages.
Yeah, and
we've
got our shows planned out through the rest of the year. So
we do.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Good
so
times.
it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Doing a little remote. So it's been a minute since we did remote. We had to get our technology in order, or at least I had to.
Yeah.
Because it'd been a while since I even had the damn microphone or camera turned on.
And of course, I'm sure Turtle Beach was like, "You need to install a new update." And
of course, because this microphone's like from probably 2018 anyway.
Yeah.
So
you said
can hear us.
Yeah, you're good. And you mentioned everybody being sick. I don't know what's going on this year, man, but everybody around me has been sick a lot already this fall. And I have dodged it like the fucking Matrix for some reason. I don't know.
Wood, man.
I'm not a superstitious person, but maybe I'm jinxing myself right now, but fucking Ben has been sick like 4 times. Kristen's been sick. I've got a shitload of coworkers that have been sick. A coworker that tested positive for COVID, who I was in close contact with. But I have come out the other end germ-free. Woo!
Doing that Matrix shit like you said.
Yeah.
Man.
So I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm not complaining. It's been good.
It's clean living, I guess.
Yeah. Typhoid Jason. Yeah, maybe it's all that shit that they injected us with, for 20 years in the military. Maybe it's finally doing its job.
Yeah, finally. Look, man, I've been injected with all the same shit. I've managed to still get sick.
That's fair.
So, it's that sickness and then picking up whatever viruses or whatever in foreign countries. Some of us actually went out and enjoyed ourselves in these foreign countries and didn't sit in our rooms and play video games.
Hey, guess who didn't get typhoid? Or what's the other one? Malaria.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
You also didn't get a virus that tried to kill you. So
is
that.
Yes. So it's all good in the hood. Anyway, what are we talking about today, Dave?
Some fucking movie. What anniversary was it? It's like the 20th anniversary.
Yeah,
20th
hard
anniversary
to believe.
of Kill Bill.
Yeah.
So So we're going to talk a little bit about Kill Bill, Volume 1.
Yes, specifically Volume 1.
Because Volume 2 came out in 2004.
Yeah, like April or something. So like 6 months later.
Yeah. So we're going to talk
6 months
a little
later. I know you were thinking it.
It was in my head.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about it a little bit or whatever. Spoiler alert. Don't have a lot of good things to say.
Okay, no, that's fine. But save it until we get there.
Stay tuned. More to follow on that. But yeah.
All right. Well, first let's handle some business. And we are going to get to the trading places question after all the Patreon stuff.
Right.
Why don't we start by talking about our Patreon?
You should have had this set up already.
I did, and I closed the window for some reason, so I'm a fucking idiot. But anyway, if you're enjoying the Sidebar Cantina's content, consider becoming one of our supporters. We're already fucking off here. It's been 2 weeks. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this podcast and help make it possible for us to continue to bring you quality content week after week. We'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons who are about to be part of a drawing for a free Black Series figure. Chantal for Pop My Culture, Don Solsky, Scott and Kim, Frank Kalevich, Wally Frogmore, Tina Land, Carly Vickers, Dragon Buddy, Nick from Swede Studios, Steve Long, Kristen Roscom, Janine Vickers, Shotgun Mark, Sterling Azier, Lord Helmet Fire, Frederick Martin, my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein, The Orange and Fett Show, Ivo G, David Schmuck, Catherine Rennick, and our newest patron, Helen Martin. If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/the Sidebar Cantina. Oh, we got new stuff here. Our most recent Patreon benefit is our latest giveaway happening tonight, live on the pod. The Sidebar Cantina will be drawing a winner who will receive... I wasn't listening when you said the name of the figure. Just say it here. Yeah. So Darth Malgus, who I accidentally bought 3 of, is our winning...
That's the best.
Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we do this. And now over to Sidebar headlines.
Oh, yeah. No, he doesn't do sidebar headlines. I do sidebar headlines.
Oh, okay, fine.
So we're going to shout out to Ivo G, who has held our #1 spot in our Sidebar Fantasy Football League for the past couple of weeks. Ivo put up a good fight, but he's about to be dethroned by none other than this guy. And I didn't write that. The Lunar Girl did.
Very nice.
Yeah, I put together a good week. No thanks to Ivo trading me Gibbs. And and me starting fucking Will Levis for fucking who got me all of 1 1/4 point. So that was awesome.
It happens.
And CJ Stroud nicely on my fucking bench. God, this thing looks so fucking good.
Yeah.
The screen.
So,
but that's it.
All right. Well, we are about to do the drawing for the Black Series figure that all of our current patrons are eligible for, but the highest tier patrons get extra runnings or extra tickets.
Good runnings.
Yes.
Feel the rhythm.
Words
Feel
are hard
the rhyme.
to figure out right now. So should I just share my screen or just do you want to take my word for it about the random number?
Share a screen. Why not?
All right.
We have the technology.
What else we got to do? Let's see.
Fuck it.
Share
We're already
screen.
remote.
I know, right?
Look how bad my skin looks.
Random number generator.
This is what happens when you're sitting in front of a computer screen all day.
Obviously. All right, so you can see this, right?
Yep.
All right, so we're drawing between 1 and 38, and the way I always do this is I click it 5 times, and on the 5th one, that's the winner, because I like to scramble it a little bit.
Okay.
So, are we ready?
Yes.
I'll take that as a yes. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 36. Oh, boy.
God.
36
Missed
is
it by 1.
in the chat. One
What?
Frederick Martin.
Word.
So, Frederick, our friend, if you want this beautiful deluxe Black Series figure of Darth Malgus, one of the coolest fucking characters in Star Wars Legends, he
Hells
is
yeah.
yours.
Hells
so, congratulations to Rick. And
Yes, Rick, you're 36.
well, he's also 37 too because he got an extra entry because he's one of
I'm
our
37.
He's one
Where's
of our top
the
tier
board?
supporters.
I missed my board.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Sacred.
Nope.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Okay, so and our financial.
Oh, where's my mouse? Oh, there it is, right there.
Nice. But our financial manager said that we are going to be trying to do a giveaway every single week. So stay tuned next week for
All right.
whatever the new giveaway is.
Yes.
Could even potentially be a Black Series figure again because we'll get to it. So a couple other things I want to talk about. First, we had in the chat before we went live, somebody had asked a question about the movie Trading Places, the classic Eddie Murphy and what's his name? The guy from Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd. Jesus Christ. And what's her name? from Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis, and whether or not it was a holiday movie. And my answer to that is hell yes. Like, is there any question? Like, it's Christmas decorations through a majority of the movie until they go to the New Year's party train, and then it flips over to New Year's, and then the whole thing at the stock exchange. So, yeah, definitely a holiday movie in my opinion. Like, no question whatsoever. Like, he's even in a Santa suit at one point.
Yeah, I would agree. Look, it's that age old debate, right? Are we trying to identify what a holiday movie is? Like, what are the criterion for a holiday movie? Right? Is it takes place at a certain time? Does it have to have a certain, like, this is the motif, or this is the particular plot has to go a certain way? I mean, let's face it. If you got a guy in a fucking Santa suit, it's a main part of the plot. I mean, he's in the Santa suit for probably at least a third of the fucking movie.
I don't know if it was that much, but
I don't know. I feel like my favorite part's he's in it. All fucking
where he's all
drunk,
stumbling around.
He's got his fucking wino bag and
tries to shoot himself, and the gun doesn't go off, and good times.
Can't make that movie these days, man.
Oh hell no,
just can't do it.
Oh god. Yeah, no, they drop a hard N-word in that. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. A long list of movies that, well, you can't make that movie. I don't know that you can make even, like, can you make right now? Could you make It's a Wonderful Life?
It's a good question.
Think you could? You know, people equate that as like, oh, it's this wholesome, like, Christmas movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
well, didn't they? Well, this is probably 20 years ago now, but didn't Nicolas Cage do like a modern day remake of that?
If he did, I wouldn't pay attention to it. I mean, Christ, what hasn't Nicolas Cage made a fucking remake of?
True.
The dude, I think, makes a movie every 15 minutes. So
right. Well, he's got to make back that money that fucking Madoff stole. But I digress.
I don't have any idea that was a thing. Is that really what happened?
Yeah. Nicolas Cage lost like his entire fortune in the Bernie Madoff shit. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I don't know if it's awesome. I mean, I certainly don't want the guy, to.
No, obviously not. But I mean, he can. Like, he's an actor that can go and make more movies, right?
Yeah.
He can go and do stuff. Like, he can still,
hone
his craft.
Yeah, apparently now that the strike is over, so that's a thing.
Yeah.
My guess too is now that that's over, we're gonna start seeing a lot of announcements as far as like all the Star Wars content we've been waiting for.
Right.
Either the things that are done or the things that were in the middle of filming that had to stop because actors wanted more money.
Who posted something? Somebody posted something about that Marvel movie making, like,
the Marvels. Oh yeah, I wouldn't say it tanked, but it's not going to make its money back.
47 million.
Yeah, like 47.
I when I initially saw that, I'm like, that seems like a shit ton of money still. Like, I don't know if my brain is still caged for like early 2000s, late 90s money.
Yeah, I mean, for a movie that doesn't have a shitload of special effects, it's fine. That's a good take. But the thing cost over $200 million to make, a shitload of special effects. I think after marketing, they said it was like over $300 million. And with an opening like that, it is not going to make that money back.
Oh no.
So
it's what's Disney? What more is Disney going to cut off? When it's cutting the wheat from the chaff. I
mean, they're hurting all around, and they, I don't think Iger coming back was the big refocus that they needed because things have only seemed to be getting worse for them. So they need a whole rethinking of how they're doing things.
Oh, maybe don't make so much fucking crap. Stop trying to wring out the money tree.
Yeah.
And maybe actually focus on quality over quantity.
Well, the funny thing is you heard what the rumor is that they're trying to do now?
No.
they're trying to get Robert Downey Jr. back. Him and Captain America, Chris
Evans.
Yeah. Even though the characters were technically killed off in that last Avengers movie.
Yeah, but don't they have this whole like multiverse thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Where the rules don't matter anymore because it could be happening in a completely different universe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Of course. But, I know Robert Downey Jr. had said that, like, I'm fucking done after this. He's, like, made $1 bajillion off of fucking Marvel.
Right.
And his character arc came to a close.
Yeah,
and
he made Tony Stark money off of it. So now he's like, now I'm done.
Yeah, yeah. But now I guarantee you Disney's going to be throwing a shitload of money at him to try to get him to come back because, like, Marvel is hurting.
Save the franchise. Mm-hmm. Come on, please. I'll suck your dick.
I would not be surprised if those words came out of Bob Iger's mouth. Like, I will suck your dick, Robert, if you come back and reprise your role as Tony Stark.
Now suck my dick.
Anyway, speaking of other movies that are coming out, we got a new trailer for Rebel Moon yesterday.
We did. Yeah, they had like a it was during the second quarter of the game of the week yesterday, which was the Cowboy. It was Cowboys Giants, right? That barn burner game.
Oh yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, I saw all kinds of memes today about the Cowboys fans like fucking fuck yeah, we own the Giants. I'm like, you understand? You just beat up on like one of the worst teams in the league, right?
You just beat up on a high school quarterback.
Yeah, and they're that guy from the meme with the fucking champagne. You fucking giving them the middle finger. Yeah, fuck yeah. You beat the Giants, guys. Relax.
Yeah, it's the Cowboys. Of course they're going to do that. It's the fucking that's what they do. They're still salty about losing to the fucking Eagles, and so now they took it out on the fucking poor Giants.
Yeah,
and it's it was a beating. Like don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They beat a team they were supposed to. But yeah, you don't celebrate beating up on a fucking handicapped kid.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
But back to the Rebel Moon trailer. I think
which happened during the second quarter of that game, which is why we brought it up.
I mean, it looks good, and now we have a better idea of like what the story actually is, because that first teaser was just like flashes of stuff with no real substance.
Right.
But this one, it actually kind of gives us a little bit more of the details of the movie. And again, I'm excited for this.
Man,
I think it's gonna be fucking awesome.
I'll tell you, what it has to me elements of. I mean, obviously, it has this like Star Wars kind of flavor to it, because I think we talked about it before when we first saw the first teaser. Was we talked about Zack Snyder being turned away from the Star Wars gig.
Yep.
So he's basically doing this as a giant middle finger to the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
But it had those Star Wars elements, but it also has like these like deep science fiction elements to it, like a science fiction storytelling that would be fantastic if they, like, as you're continuing to tell the story and you do some world building, like you have the elements of making like some really, really good story out of this.
Yeah. And you don't have your hands tied by any previously existing canon.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm not going to put it, I'm going to use this, I'm going to say this, and I don't need all the fucking nerds out there getting all uppity with it. But think Lord of the Rings, right? Where Lord of the Rings had its own, this is its own world, right? Yep. And then it doesn't have anything else holding it back. But it started out with, The Hobbit, and then it kind of expanded on itself. This is potentially can do the same thing. Like you have, here's this framework, and now let's build and develop more story around it. And
I'm sure Netflix is hoping for that. I'm sure they're hoping this is going to be like a huge success, and then they can create a whole new franchise out of this.
Yeah. Until Netflix gets bought out by like Apple or something, and then Apple will run it. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But either way, it looks like they spent a fuck ton of money on it, though. I mean, It looks beautiful.
Which, again, I don't know how, like we've talked about this before, I don't know how these streaming services recoup their money or how they decide, like, this much of our monthly subscription money goes to this movie or was generated by this movie. I don't know.
I don't either.
I guess it just goes by views, right?
I think it's just gambling, right? It's like, okay, here's your fucking roll the dice, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're gonna, you know, bet on black and see if we can double up here, or wait, I missed something. Really, Dave? That's all it would take? I missed something.
Oh. And also in the chat, Pop My Culture mentioned that the new Ghostbusters teaser also dropped, which I did not see that, so I'll be watching that after the show. Because I like that last rebooted Ghostbusters.
The one with
the
Paul Rudd?
kids. Yeah.
I never saw it.
Yeah, it was
I never
decent.
saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that it about Rebel Moon?
Yeah, just that it's what, December.
It's like the very end of the month. It's like December 28th or some shit like that. Or no, 21st maybe.
21st or 22nd. That sounds right.
Yeah.
So,
but either way, we are going to be talking about it, our first show of 2024, which might be January 1st. If we decide to do it that day.
That's right. That's right. We'll dress up in our mummers outfits for the new year.
There you go.
That could be some special shit.
Yeah.
Teach everybody what a mummer is.
Yeah.
I'll teach you what a mummer is, because you obviously don't have any idea.
I know what the mummers dance is.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the song they dance to?
The mummers dance. That's the name of the song.
No, it's not. It's not the name of the song.
Well, that's a song that I know called the mummers dance. Anyway, so do we want to move on to our weeks?
Sure.
All right. So I don't have any Black Series reveals. Well, I have Black Series figures here. I have a lot of Black Series figures here. Like, a lot. See, again, this is what happens when you leave me unsupervised. And I have all kinds of enablers around me. And it just things have gotten out of hand. So I would much rather do this reveal
out of hand.
Yeah. No, it's
like they were fully in control before, but now they're out of hand. Suddenly.
Yeah, I do think we've crossed a new line, though. I will say that. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff here, and I'd rather talk about it when you're here in the studio. But Bronco Fed, if you're listening, you especially want to tune in next week when I reveal all these Black Series figures. Trust me.
That means a lot of them are getting opened, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, more than likely, and then some other stuff as well. So, all right, so no Black Series figures this week. You know what did happen this last week, though, was my lovely wife Kristen's birthday.
Yes, it was.
And we, so I was actually out of town. The reason why we didn't have the show last week is because I was traveling for work. So I actually was not home for her birthday, but I got her a lot of fantastic birthday gifts. So much so that, you know, she'll even admit it, that, you know, I fucking hit it out of the park, because this year, you know, in the spirit of trying to be a better person, I actually thought ahead about her Christmas and her birthday and all that. And, you know, I finished everything, buying all of her gifts for both her birthday and Christmas before Halloween. So
it's impressive.
Which normally, like I think I've even said it on the show, it gets to be about, you know, December 15th, and it's like, well, fuck, what do you want for Christmas? Just tell me what you want, and I'll go buy it, or just I'll give you the money and go buy it. But no, I've done the good thing this year, and I've, you know, picked out thoughtful gifts that I think she'll really like, just good stuff. And I started that with her birthday presents this last week, and yeah, she says it right there in the chat. He did a great job this year. So a lot of great gifts. She could talk about them in the chat if she wants. But, you know, we also watched a movie for her birthday. She decided she was going to make me watch a movie of her choosing. And we watched the movie Game Night with Jason Bateman and what's her name from The Notebook. I can never remember that actress's name. But
no, oh shit. She's in Sherlock Holmes too.
Yeah, I can't remember her fucking name. Rachel McAdams.
That
Rachel
sounds right.
McAdams. Yeah.
That
Rachel
sounds
McAdams. And it ended up being like this raunchy comedy, a lot of F-bombs, a lot of just funny stuff. And it was hilarious. I really enjoyed it. So glad that we watched it because I had never seen it before. And
Nice.
then, oh, go ahead.
And then, no.
All right. Well, and then we went to dinner. And she chose a place that neither of us had ever been to. Have you ever heard of the place Steak 38 here in
Yes.
Cherry Hill?
Yes.
So we went there.
Yes.
And
the best prime rib within 60 miles.
Right. Well, the best prime rib and everything else, because we both left that place saying that was the best restaurant meal we'd ever had in our lives.
Yeah.
It was fucking good.
And it's crazy too, because it's like Kathy took me there for my birthday like a few years back. Because I have a thing for prime rib, and it's known for its prime rib, and it's they do the thing with the bananas, the dessert.
Yeah,
they light the bananas on fire. Something, I don't know.
Yeah, he was explaining it to us. We didn't dessert though.
But the prime rib is phenomenal, and it's like at the end of this like kind of a motel.
Yeah, it's connected to the like the Feather Nest Inn or whatever.
It's
like, a motel. It's like where people go to,
Right. It's like a pay nightly fucking motel.
Yes.
And you think, oh my God, this place is going to be a shithole. And it's one of the best meals you're going to have in your life.
Yeah.
It's Bananas Foster. Thanks, Rick. It's so good. I'm so glad you got to go there because it's phenomenal.
And again, neither of us had ever been there. We didn't know anything about it, and got in there. The service was incredible. The guy had all kinds of stories, and the food was unbelievable. I had a filet mignon and a crab cake. Oh, so good.
Yeah, the filet is good too.
Yeah, and then
you can get a. I think you can get a filet that's big enough to share.
Yeah,
like you can do a share fillet.
Yeah, it's for two. We almost got that, but then Kristen decided she wanted something else. So
yeah, that prime rib is so good.
Yeah. So yeah, we went there and had the absolute best meal of our lives. So yeah, if you're ever in South Jersey, Philadelphia area, if you're not a local, check out Steak 38. But save your money before you go because it ain't cheap either.
It's probably it would be cheaper to spend a week at that hotel that it's attached to. It feels like, and it's definitely seems sketchy as hell when you pull up.
Yeah.
But
you're like, what the fuck?
But it's fucking awesome.
Yes.
Rick talks. There's a mock turtle soup that's excellent as well. The food there is excellent.
Yeah.
And
everything we had, even like the vegetables, was awesome.
And really I won't confirm or deny anything about it being a mob hangout.
Well, so it's funny you mention that because a guy at the table next to us, he looked like he was probably in his 60s or 70s. He was talking to the waiter, and I overheard him say, like, "Oh yeah, I used to work for the prosecutor's office," and and he said, "I've been coming here literally for decades."
Yeah.
And I'm like, interesting.
I wonder what his name was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably know him. My grandfather was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
He worked in a prosecutor's office.
Yeah. So, the prosecutors, mob, people.
Yeah,
all just,
absolutely. Duh.
Probably get some scenes like that one from Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro where they're having coffee together.
Yeah.
But, speaking of Heat, last thing that I have is the Fathom events had Scarface playing this week. The Fathom events. And so myself and my son Ben loves Scarface. He has a Scarface t-shirt. He has a Scarface poster. He's the kid who is obsessed with Grand Theft Auto. When they announced that they're going to reveal the next Grand Theft Auto in December, he lost his shit. So he loves all of this stuff, like mob stuff, gangsters, Grand Theft Auto, all that shit. So he begged and pleaded for me to take him to the Scarface Fathom event. So we did yesterday, and we went and saw that. And I had never seen Scarface in my life. And I know we have it on the docket to talk about here on the show. And we saw it at the Fathom event, and I'm gonna have a lot to say about it when are
we supposed to
well,
according
to my schedule, we have it penciled in for December 4th.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
I just have to remember to rewatch it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody remind me. Yes.
I'll remind you. Don't worry. That's pretty much it for my week. What you been up to?
So, we had a nice long weekend.
Yeah.
Because it was Veterans Day over the weekend.
So did you get Friday off for Veterans Day? Is that how that worked?
We did.
Okay.
Friday was the federal recognition of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I didn't get shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were TDY, right? So
yeah.
Was that your travel day? Sucks to suck. But yeah, so and then unfortunately between school and Kathy being sick and then me not feeling well, like it was just kind of just a wash. Like it was just kind of a wasted weekend, which kind of sucks. And then teleworking today, obviously, it was like bleh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so just not any fun. But what is cool about teleworking, and it's something I realized, like I think I talked about on a show when I was building like the shelves and so if you've watched the remote episodes in the past, like the background's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
There's some book shelving going on, some rearranging of things.
Yeah.
So it's different for me to even look at. It's just distracting. And I'm easily distracted. So
yeah, we've established that.
Yeah. So Saturday was, since the Eagles are on a bye this weekend, so the only football I had to enjoy was Penn State, Michigan.
Oh, how'd that go?
Yeah. Which, look, I'm not saying that I was going into that game with any kind of idea that they were, fuck off. Any kind of idea that, maybe I wish I could reach through the thing and just smack the shit out of you.
Why do you think I did it this time when we were remote? I knew I could get away with it.
I didn't have it like I knew it was going to be a real test to see what Penn State could do. I mean, it was at home, so I knew we were going to have the home field advantage and everything else. So if we were going to give it a run, then this was going to be it. And I think the most frustrating part, well, there's two things that frustrated me about the game. More than two things. I'm going to talk about two things. One was the fact that we were talking about going to the game. And we talked about this months and months ago with Don and Brady, because they were going to try and go. And when we were talking about tickets, the game was on Veterans Day, and what Penn State, they have usually on Veterans Day they have a special, like, hey, veterans get in free for the game, and they have that set up. So before they released like the tickets and everything else, the idea was like, well, shit, if we're going to get in for free, then let's try and get to the game.
Yeah. Because
between the four of us, if it's me, you, Don, and Brady, like three of us would be in for free, and we'll figure out the rest of it.
Yeah.
So come to find out, like when they finally get the ticket sales open, that they're not doing that game for the veterans. They end up doing the Indiana game. Who the fuck cares?
What was that, the week before?
Like 2 weeks before.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks because yeah. But it was like, look, I get it. There's part of me that gets it. It's a business, right? It's the same business that you have a program like down at Texas A&M where they fire a coach and they pay him $77 million to be fired. $77 million. Like, how the fuck does a university afford that? I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
But it's in the same token, like, it is a business. But how many tickets would you really, like, if you had done like a first come first serve for veterans, like how many would you have really, like, where would you have lost out by offering that up for veterans? And I just don't. I think they missed an opportunity on Fox broadcast was there for Big Noon Saturday and everything else, and I think they missed an opportunity to really, showcase something for veterans. And what they did was they showcased the fact that, okay, this is about the money and about the industry.
Oh yeah.
And then they get on the field and it's like, oh God, I just all weekend so much lip service to like veteran stuffs, and I'm so jaded towards it, I guess. That could, because I feel like it's so commercialized now. Like, oh, look at us placating the veterans, and it's like they do with everything else.
Everybody does it, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, all the special like they do with the gay shit and all that other stuff.
Let's put a rainbow on a shirt and call it, hey, here's our LGBTQ awareness thing and all that. I think the only one I'll give the credit for is the NFL for their cancer stuff, because there's actually money going from those sales to some of these organizations, whereas like for the other stuff, you don't really see the other side of it. But anyway, I was disappointed in that. And then the product on the field, you have a fan base and a university that showed up. They had over 110,000 people there, right? The fan base showed up. The players showed up. The defensive coordinator did everything that he could do to get his players ready. But the offensive play calling was absolute fucking garbage. And I'm just done with it. You can't. You're going to have this program, and you want to be competitive against the best teams in the league, because you're either going to compete for a national championship or you're not. And if you're going to, then you need to fucking stop some ridiculous play calling where I'm going to put all my offensive linemen on one end of the fucking end zone, and I'm going to have all my skill players on the other side for a 2-point conversion. What the fuck is that? What made you think
trying to do all that cute shit
in situational football that, like, at a point when it really, really mattered, and if you'd done some simple math, it would have, like, this is what your job is to coach football. And they afterwards they fired the offensive coordinator, which is a start, but I think the head coach has some culpability there. And under this head coach, they have 4 wins against over the past 10 years. They have 4 wins against top ranked opponents. 4.
It's not good.
It's not. So it was a little disappointing, to say the least. Again, not for the students, not for the players, because I think they did everything they could do, but for the coaching. That's what they're there for. They're getting paid. They're getting paid to fucking be there and to fucking coach. So fucking do your bit. Don't make these bonehead fucking like, oh, I'm anyway. So that was fucking aggravating. That only football I had to really look forward to, and it just fucking just pissed me off, and I was already not feeling well, so that just just made the rest of the weekend that much better. But one of the things I've been doing, on a positive note, is I've been putting together the Legos like crazy to get my Christmas Lego stuff together. I've been posting progress stuff on our Discord channel.
Yep. And
I know Kelly's been kind of reposting a lot of that. So
yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the stuff she reposts.
Yeah, so if you're into the Lego bit, I'm gonna cut myself with this thing.
Are you just playing with that over there?
I'm playing with an X-Acto knife, and I have so many cuts on my fingers already. Sidebar. So Rick, who's in the chat, he dropped off this transformer that he needed fixed. That he had tried to fix and wasn't having much success at. So I said, I'll give it a shot. And today I just happened to I needed a break from work, so thanks, G-Force. You know, I needed a break, so I just decided to go out and work on it a little bit. And I can't. The other piece is buried, and I'm not going to dig for it anymore. But I got it over here, and it's really there's a post to the tail to this dinosaur. This purple Barney looking dinosaur transformer. He's a mess. He's a mess right now because I've got him taken apart. But
Is he an original Transformer, or is he a later generation? I couldn't tell.
I think he's a later one.
Okay. Nice.
I don't know. Rick, you're in the chat. You explain to the people what's up. It's a brilliant detailed transformer. Like it's really cool. But they did a shit design with the tail. So I tried to do some magic with some CA glue and some Beast Wars Megatron. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Rick. Tried to do some magic today, and there wasn't a good enough mechanical connection. So as I was cleaning, I made a good connection. It was fucking great. If it didn't need to get transformed more than once, it would have been perfectly fine. But I was like kind of racking through it, trying to make sure it was a good connection, and it broke again. So I have a plan B that it'll require more steps with making a longer post, so that there's a better mechanical connection. But so that was what I did instead of eating lunch. I went out and got fucking CA glue all over my fingers, and because I was cleaning up with the X-Acto knife, cut my fingers up real good. So
nice.
Yeah, that's a useful distraction. Where I should have been working on, I got a paper that I'm going to have to submit after I'm finished with the show today.
Yeah.
About a topic for school that I was going for 3 weeks. I was writing up towards one particular aspect of this physiological shit. And then I decided, I'm not going to do it on that. I'm changing vectors completely. I'm going to do it on something else. Yeah. Brilliant. Just because that's a recipe for success, kids.
Oh, I'm sure. Especially in a master's program.
No, it's not. It really isn't. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay tuned for more Legoing, and yeah, more to follow on that.
Alrighty. So
that's what it was. You know what? We'll talk about that later. Dude, I have so much fun stuff just laying around on my desk that people haven't seen.
Hey, it's that one guy.
It's the thing from the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Leia's droid, right?
Yeah,
From,
it's
Kenobi.
Layla.
Yeah.
I think they call it Layla. Now this is
on my knees.
So this isn't like the super high speed one. My mother-in-law got this on clearance, right? So it's posable and it beeps.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's desktop size.
Ah, yes. But it looks about like life size, like the size that actually was in the show. Very nice. Not disturbing at all.
Nope. Yeah, it's so nice staring at me on my desk. No, that's it. That's all I got for my week.
All right. So do you need a break or anything before we get to our main topic?
Nope.
All righty, let's hop into it then. We're talking...
If I come up with anything else, I'll just interrupt.
All right, well, we're talking Kill Bill Volume 1, just passed its 20th anniversary last month. And why don't we just get into our history first before we do anything else? Because that's going to kind of drive a lot of the discussion, I think. And for me, I saw it back in 2004 while I was in the middle of a massive exile, a 6-month exile, essentially, because I was cross-training in the Air Force and I was becoming a boom operator. And the boom operator school is at this base called Altus in Oklahoma, and there is nothing there. Like, I shit you not. The people on the base, what they do on the weekend is they go to the Walmart. That was like the big thing to do on the weekends, if that tells you anything.
It still is.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because that's where the boom operator school still is, and that's still the thing to do.
Yeah, and you work with a lot of boom operators.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, like middle of fucking nowhere, hot as balls, because I was there over a summer.
Bowers.
Yep. So, but
Oh, that's awful. In the 135 too, where there's no fucking air conditioning.
oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It sucked.
Turbulence, awful. Ugh.
Oh yeah, no, I was like, I almost puked so many times while I was out there. So, but yeah, and I was there by myself. Kristen was home with the baby, and yeah, I was gone for that 6-month period. And while I was there, I met this other guy who was also going through training, who introduced me to the concept of torrents. Because if you remember, back in 2003, 2004, we were still kind of coming off of first Napster, then Kazaa,
Right.
LimeWire, and all of
LimeWire,
those.
yeah.
And, you know, most of that stuff had already been shut down at this point in 2004. And I was, you know, I had no idea what torrents were, but this guy introduced them to me because that was the next big, you know, way to pirate movies and games and all that other stuff. And he had this just like fucking stack of DVDs, and in it was Kill Bill, which, you know, I've always been a big Tarantino fan since I saw Pulp Fiction. Really like Reservoir Dogs. I never saw Jackie Brown. It just didn't look interesting. But, you know, I was excited for his next movie to come out. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll watch this. It's like everybody that I talked to that had seen it loved it. Right. So I take this pirated DVD and I sit there and I watch it. And when the movie's over, I'm like, I don't know what to think about this. I'm kind of like the way I felt after watching The Last Jedi. I'm sitting there just like, I don't think I liked that. And never saw it again. I did see part 2.
I think somebody just shit in my face.
Yeah, I did see part 2 because I think he also had part 2 at that point because I think it came out, like I said, in April of 2004. So I did see part 2 at some point. And, you know, I only saw them both one time. Was not the biggest fan. And as I'm watching part 1, I'm waiting for certain parts that I thought I'd remembered, but they were in part 2. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like when she got buried alive. And then when she's training under the one
Spoiler
guy.
alert, jeez.
Oh, I know, right? So yeah, I'm like waiting for stuff to happen that doesn't happen. So, you know, clearly it's been a long time since I've seen these movies, but you know, overall I didn't like it, you know, and like I said, I love Tarantino. I think he's a fucking fantastic filmmaker, but you know, something didn't really sit well with me. And now I kind of understand why, after watching it again these 20 years later, what my issue is with it, but we'll get into that as we get going through the movie itself. So I think I covered everything. Yeah. So what do you remember from seeing this for the first time?
I am pretty sure that the first time I saw it was on the jet. We talked about this with a bunch of different movies, and we talked about the DVD 9. Like getting the pirated copies, you know, in Malaysia or Thailand or wherever.
Thailand was a big one.
Making sure we had the DVD 9 and we could play it. We actually play it on the jet.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it being on in the jet. And the reason I remember it is more about Lucy Liu than it is anything.
Yeah.
Just because Lucy Liu.
Yeah, she looked good in this.
Mm-hmm. And so what I do remember, like, because I was on headset, you know, I was allegedly doing my job in the jet, and I just was like, it was on in the background. Like I was watching it, but it was just on. And you could say that with a lot of movies that we had on in the jet. You know, some of them were just like, we're just on. And I'm with you. I'm a Tarantino. I like Tarantino movies. I really like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
I like Pulp Fiction, obviously.
Yeah, which we got to talk about that on the show at some point.
Well, next year. Next
is
year's
that
the big year.
Oh, okay.
Right? 94 is when it came out. 94.
That's right.
Hit the
fucking 30 years on that. Oh, hold on.
Fucking button.
Nope.
My penis is smooth.
Nope.
Yep,
The
that too.
sacred Jedi pass.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
This
There we go. We got it.
this just in. Jason's not familiar with the buttons on Dave's screen.
Yeah, I have Dave's configuration up, and I have no idea where anything is.
Yep. But yeah, next year for Pulp Fiction, that'll be a big show.
Yeah,
That'll be a big one.
that's good.
But yeah, so this one, there was no part in it where I was like, oh wow, I'm really just excited to even see where this goes for the next one, or let me rewatch this because I felt like I missed something. And to even build on that, like I didn't buy into Uma Thurman as a
Thank you.
action star,
Right.
like, and I'm with you. Like there's parts watching it recently, and there's parts where I understand why some things are the way they are, like what they were generally going for with like this kung fu movie that they were trying to make, right? And maybe made really well. I mean, this gets like 85% on Rotten Tomatoes or some shit.
Yeah, it's pretty high rated. And again, like everybody I've ever talked to that's seen it absolutely loved it. So I'm like one of the only people who's ever been just kind of lukewarm about it, if that.
Yeah, and it's like there were people that are into like the kung fu and are into like the samurai legend stuff and like the idea of the swordplay, gratuitous fucking violence and blood and shit like that. Like, all right, cool. Like it has all those elements. Has a little bit of the anime stuff in it where you have the cartoons.
Yeah, Lucy Liu's whole anime background.
Right. And it's, telling that story. But the pacing and even the story it's telling is not something that I'm just not into that. I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
And upon rewatching, I was like, okay, I'm still not into it. And as I'm sure you have notes, and as we go along, we'll talk more about some of the stuff that.
Yeah, some of the specifics
that we're into, and then we can talk big picture stuff at the end. But
yeah, and just for reference, it's had a $30 million budget, and it ended up making $70 million at the domestic box office and $180 million worldwide. So it definitely made its money back. So I'm always glad to see that when a not big event movie, makes money.
Yeah, and it's I think part of that is the genre, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people that looked at this and said they knew exactly what genre they were getting into.
Yeah.
They looked at it a Tarantino movie, right? So there's going to be some level of intrigue and drama
and time jumps. He's really good at like giving you shit out of order, which we got in this.
What is happening?
What? Uh-oh. I think Dave had a short circuit.
No,
Are you all right there?
I'm just trying to figure out what.
Do we need the?
Who's from Philly and also a diehard Philly guy? I'm trying.
A lot of people are.
I'm trying to keep up with the chat.
That's a foolhardy enterprise, my friend. Trying to keep up with the chat while we're doing the show, it's difficult.
Yes, I agree. I'm Tom Brokaw.
All right, so did you have anything else before we got into the movie itself?
Oh, there's 2 Forsyths in the in the chat.
Okay,
there you go. There you go, and they're both Eagles fans. I fucking love it.
All right.
Go Birds.
You made Dave's day.
Go Birds.
And the Niners are back now, by the way.
Who gives a shit?
Thank God. I do. And at least one of our other listeners does.
I can't take you seriously if you're wearing that fucking Michigan shirt.
Did they not win this weekend? I don't understand.
I can't take.
Why wouldn't I wear the colors
Who's
of
the
winners?
quarterback for Michigan?
Obviously somebody whose name I can't remember right off the top of my head.
Really?
But yeah. Jim Harbaugh, coach though, right? Hey, he was a quarterback. back in the NFL.
Was Jim Harbaugh at the game?
No, because isn't he like in trouble for some reason?
Right. He's suspended because he
Yeah.
was stealing signs.
Right. We talked about that before. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So see, I know things.
I'm gonna pull that shirt over your head and punch you hockey style.
Well, you would do that if you were here, but clearly you're not here. So
Right.
Anyway, so we ready to move on?
Yes.
So I don't know how you watched this movie this time, but this wasn't one of those movies where I have a copy laying around somewhere or where it's streaming anywhere, which I was very disappointed by. So I ended up having to buy this thing on Amazon Prime. So now I own it forever.
I bought
for better or worse.
I bought it on Apple. I paid.
Did you?
Because I was going to either rent it, which would have been like $2.99 or $3.99 to rent, or I could buy it for $6.99 off of my Apple, library or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to spend the $7 and own it.
That's exactly the same with me, because I was just going to rent it on Amazon, and I'm like, for $2 extra, I can just get the fucking movie, so I might as well.
Because on the off chance that, hey, I'm going to watch this again.
Yeah, like, hey, I liked it,
Yeah, or not.
Yeah. Stop getting distracted by the chat.
Oh, it's so good, though. Good one. Good one, G.
Audio listeners have no idea what the fuck's going on right now.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yep. So, yeah, I bought it on Prime, and now I have it. I can watch it whenever I choose, which will probably not be
ever again.
Yeah. So it starts off with a very
excuse me.
So much of this movie has a very 60s, 70s, feel and vibe to it, between the music and the way they filmed a lot of the scenes.
Well, right in the beginning, they tried to do that because they gave you this old timey, entrance stuff with
with the feature presentation.
Yes.
With some old school font and some old school backgrounds and making it seem just very, I kind of got more of a 70s vibe, early 70s from all of this. But again, and that's part of the problem, right? Is it's very obvious that he is just referencing everything that he enjoys about these genres. The problem is I'm not that familiar with any of these genres, so I can tell he's going for a style. I just don't know what he's exactly going for or what he's specifically referencing, because I never have watched samurai movies, westerns, or even a lot of old 70s crime movies. So I just fucking watched The Godfather for the first time this year, so if that helps you with anything. So I don't get a lot of these movies that he's referencing, and I think that's a big part of the problem why this movie doesn't resonate with me at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you still chatting?
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, it's Tarantino doing his thing. I mean, let's not try and think too deeply into it. I mean, like you said, I think Tarantino likes what he likes. Yeah. So that's what he was going for. The problem is that he doesn't stay with it. I think he goes for this, again, my estimation, and I'm not a huge kung fu movie guy. So I can't speak to it that well. And I'm sure there's some very, very well-versed kung fu movie people out there that can tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But to me, it just seemed like he had, even with Uma Thurman's delivery of some lines, it was very deliberate, and I could tell that, okay, she's delivering the line this is how it's done in a kung fu movie, right? Almost like it's to be overdubbed.
Mm-hmm.
But then in a scene almost immediately following, it's normal again.
Yeah.
And it just, the lack of consistency kind of throws me off.
Yeah, it bounces around a lot, and there's so much different shit coming at us every few minutes, and then some scenes you have no idea how long they're gonna last, if they're gonna be the 30-minute fucking fight scene to finish the movie, or if it's gonna be an 8-minute anime sequence. You have no idea. It's all fucking over the place.
Yeah.
So Yeah, again, if you're into that, that's fine. And he did that kind of with Pulp Fiction too. I'm not gonna lie, but something about Pulp Fiction just had a more broad audience appeal, I think, than this, where he's making some very specific, very hard references.
Yeah, because I think well, I don't want to get into like what Pulp Fiction was or wasn't, but I really think that Pulp Fiction, it was set. All right, this is the time period that it's set in, right? And that's why these things are going to work and these things aren't. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I was frustrated. I was frustrated by the pacing of the movie, and it just seemed like it didn't want to settle on any one thing, even more than a usual Tarantino movie.
Yeah, and like it starts off when she's looking at her fucking list when she pulls up to well, I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves. So we'll
You don't want to go immediately to the pussy wagon?
No, because he did in my notes he had the Klingon proverb up there, the revenge is a dish best served cold.
Right.
And it was like ancient Klingon proverb, which I thought was hilarious. And wasn't Tarantino recently like in negotiations to make a Star Trek movie? I'm pretty sure he was.
I have no idea.
But yeah, I think that might have fallen through. What is my laptop on top of? Never mind. Yeah, so I just thought that was funny that he put the Klingon proverb in there, and I remember that line too. And then it's got this like black and white intro where Uma's already just like beat the fuck up and is about to get like a single fucking headshot, and you got Bill talking to her, which in the whole movie you hear Bill's voice. We all know who he is. David Carradine came from the Kung Fu.
Right. Grasshopper.
And you never see his face through the entirety of the movie. All of his dialogue is when the camera's focusing on somebody else. And right as she's saying, it's your baby, boom, he fucking shoots her in the head, which, all right, I mean.
Well, tries to shoot her in the head.
Yeah. It just bounced off her skull on the side.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Which now it's metal plate. See up here? Nothing. But over here, this gets dented. My hair just is not going to look right.
Yep. And then the intro gets into this like Nancy Sinatra Bang Bang song, which is kind of fitting considering we just saw that. And Uma Thurman is billed as the bride in this movie because we never hear her actual name, because for some reason they decide to censor it every time somebody says her name, which no idea what the fuck he's doing with that. I know her name gets revealed at some point in the second movie, but it's like, why are you choosing to do this specific thing, like censoring whenever somebody says her name? Like, you don't want us to know her name, but we know her pseudonym, the Black Mamba, or in the credits she's billed as the bride,
which is funny too, because I literally forgot about the Black Mamba bit. And which is funny because it's a big part of the movie. Yeah. And when she says that,
You're talking Vivica A. Fox saying she should have been.
Vivica Fox, I should have been the fucking Black Mamba.
Yeah.
Why weren't you the Black Mamba? Like, we were all thinking it, Vivica, and you said it. So thank you.
I don't know. That could that have been racist if you give the one black person the name Black Mamba?
Look, this is a Tarantino movie, man. If
yeah.
anybody's going to get away with it, it's going to be him.
Right. Did you see a sign that said dead storage?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, black and white intro, headshot.
Pussy wagon.
Yeah. And and then she pulls up in the fucking pussy wagon in Pasadena. And this is where she walks up to Vivica A. Fox's house, and when the door opens and they look face to face, we get the same scene that we get a few times in this movie where it like zooms in on the eyes and you get that that crazy music when they're like looking at each other about the fight.
Yeah, that to me is like from a kung fu movie,
right? Yeah, which I'm sure it is,
right?
But I've never seen a movie that actually did that besides this.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of got right into it,
Yeah.
which is fine. Whatever. Again, I'm not. Do I? Okay, they're fighting, right? They're having a knife fight. Whatever. You know, it's impressive. I'm sure. I just the entirety of the fight and then stopping when the kid's there.
Yeah. Which
There's line delivery that happens during this that it immediately makes me go like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it starts throwing me off.
Yeah. No, I agree. And yeah, I mean, the knife fight was cool for a while, but I think for me, and you can tell me if you feel the same way. What?
It dragged on.
Oh, yes.
It's like, okay, how much shit can we break in the house? Like, it's like I started looking, okay, what plate collection are we fucking smashing this time?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, obviously that was all very deliberate because you see when we get to the end when she's chopping off fucking limbs everywhere and you see blood squirting, it's like about as extreme as you can make a fight, right? And it seemed like they were really trying to go over the top with every one of these fucking fights. But yeah, so they had the knife fight, and then when the daughter walks in, I remember this being like a TV spot that got played over and over and over again as the promotion for this movie was coming out, where they were fighting, and the daughter walked in, and they both hide the knives behind the back. And she's like, "Oh, hey, sweetie, how was school?" You know. But what I did.
What kid is going to buy that excuse of like, oh, there's all this shit broken, there's blood everywhere?
Yeah. Well, clearly that kid had something going on with her anyway, because she walked in, she just had the blank fucking stare at Uma Thurman, wouldn't answer her questions. And then after she watched her mom get killed, she still just stood there with the blank stare. No anger, no crying. So clearly this girl was kind of out of it anyway.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I did like when, after she killed Vivica Fox and the daughter's in there and she's like, and you know what? If you're still sore about this when you get older, I'll be waiting. So I did like that line. You know, it's like she just anticipates that this kid one day is going to come looking for her.
It's a great line, but the delivery sucked.
You think so?
I didn't like the delivery at all. I liked the line. I just hated the delivery.
Well, because I mean, that's pretty much how she talks throughout this movie.
I know, it's stupid.
Yeah. I didn't have as much of an issue with her delivery. It's just, I think the lack of dialogue overall in the movie kind of hurt it a bit, especially since Tarantino is known for having all kinds of clever dialogue. But there ain't a lot of talking in this movie overall.
Yeah. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with the lack of dialogue. What I have a problem with is like, okay, I have a problem with Uma Thurman as this action star. Like I remember when this movie came out and everyone was just praising Uma Thurman's ability as like, performing these stunts and everything else. And it's like, okay, that's fair. Right. Yeah. But then I don't know. It didn't hit for me. It just didn't hit for me. And I don't know. I'm generalizing because I wasn't entertained by this movie overall. Yeah. So as I'm grasping at things to try to hold on to, besides just Lucy Liu.
Yeah. Now
which we'll get to eventually.
Yeah. Because I do want to talk about that a little bit. So yeah, they one other funny thing that I noticed in this opening fight scene was, after they had the coffee and then Vivica tried to shoot her through the cereal box. The name of the cereal was Kaboom.
Kaboom. Yeah.
I noticed that. I'm like, yeah, very good. And yeah, I thought she had good dialogue with the daughter at the end of that. And then
foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. And then we move over back to the crime scene now that we open the movie with. And it's this fucking old time Southern fucking cop who's just, in a button down shirt, a fucking badge and a fucking cowboy hat.
Right.
And his son, who's one of the other cops on site.
Yeah. Number one.
Yeah.
It reminded me of somebody that just came straight from the fucking, Oh shit! I forgot the name of it just now. Oh God, the other Tarantino flick with fucking George Clooney.
Oh God.
And Salma Hayek.
From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's gonna come back up again later too. But go ahead.
Fair enough. No, it just reminded me like that sheriff just like was just there having a few drinks there at that bar, just fucking strolling up to the wedding.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you can definitely tell this is probably like some El Paso, Texas fucking local cop and his kid and just good job setting the scene in this one. And this is when they walk in and they're talking about all the bodies. And one thing too is I'm also trying to put myself in the mindset of somebody who's watched this for the first time, and you're really lost in the beginning as to what the fuck is going on. Like because it starts off with her already beat the fuck up, already like almost dead. And I don't think you see that she's pregnant at that point. As Bill's like lecturing her and he's got the gun over her and everything. And then shoots her in the fucking head. But, yeah, no, I forgot where I was going with that. It's because they're not giving us much. And that's Tarantino. It's kind of what he does. But, getting up to this point in the movie, you're still kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why is she trying to kill these people? What did they do? So anyway, and then this is when they realize she's alive also. So, and now here's the other interesting thing. So you know what happens, right? I think it's been 20 years. We can get into spoilers and all of that.
I think so. I think we're safe.
So obviously she survived and the daughter survived, right? Because that's the big like twist at the end of the first one is that does she know her daughter's still alive?
Right.
So I'm guessing that she delivered after this because it looked like her stomach was still pretty big in this, and it wasn't that Bill like fucking went in and took the baby out of her. I'm assuming they noticed she was still alive, nursed her back to health, she gave birth, and then Bill came through at some point and
unless or it was she was in a coma and just the baby like they just had to
throw it in a dumpster in the back.
or just take it and put it in a NICU or something, like
right,
depending on how far along she was. It's like, okay, who's the father? And then come and pick the baby up and raise it, or scrape it up out of the dumpster out back. One or the other. One of those scenarios.
Yeah. And she's still alive. We flash to her being in the hospital in a coma, and I think this is meant to be fairly soon after that whole incident. And fucking enter Daryl Hannah in this movie. She plays a very much different role than I've ever seen her in this movie.
Yeah.
With the fucking eye patch.
And
she's just like vicious, just fucking angry, like assassin, and she's like fucking
terrible assassin.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Way to blend in. You're gonna like, let me put on the nurse's outfit with the fucking tights and big stiletto heels and shit. Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. And then of course, as this is going on too, we get this really interesting side by side shot, almost like if you're looking at our YouTube stream right now. Yeah, it was like a side by side shot of Uma laying in her fucking bed in a coma, and Daryl Hannah getting the drugs and everything ready to. Inject her with, and she's walking towards it, and you got both of their faces right there, like just like that. Yes.
Yeah.
So again, a very stylized choice that Tarantino made with the filming of that scene, and I love that as she's talking to Uma, and she's like, "Oh, you fucking bitch! I fucking hated you.
You stupid bitch."
Yeah, but she's talking, she's got a calm tone in her voice, and she's like, some people, don't get to die like this in their sleep. And then Bill calls her, and she's like, oh yeah, what's going on? And he's like, I'm going to abort the mission. She deserves, or I owe her better than this. And then it immediately flips Daryl Hannah going, you don't know her shit. And she's like completely
lower your voice.
Yeah.
Lower your voice. You don't know her shit.
Yeah. Just like
yelling.
That instant change in her demeanor as soon as he said to spare her, which
you mean
was pretty funny.
Some female assassin is not a psychopath?
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, go figure.
What a stretch.
But I got a chuckle out of that scene. I don't know why. Both times that I watched it recently, I'm like,
You're shit.
yeah, just it's such a change in tone right there.
Like, oh, you know what this sound is? This is the sound of me killing this bitch.
Yeah. And then we flash.
Written by Quentin Tarantino.
Yes, exactly. That'd have been great. We flash forward 4 years, 4 years and 8 months, something like that.
Something like that.
And she's still comatose, and now we're introduced to fucking Buck, and he basically brings the guy in.
Buck's
They're
there
looking
to fuck.
Yeah, and they're looking at her for a second, and you kind of know what's going on, but they're just standing there for a second, and then he turns to him, he's like, "That'll be $75 a fuck." You know, you got 20 minutes.
Well, this is after she gets woken up by the mosquito bite.
Yes, yeah, that actually gets her out of the coma, so she's technically awake when all this is happening.
Right. She's woken up with a mosquito bite. She's like, has this like recollection. She bangs on the side of her head, realizes she's got a plate in her head.
Yeah, you're dong dong.
Yeah. Which I don't think that happens again in the entire movie.
Referencing her metal plate.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think it is. It's in the second one either.
Not
but anyway, fire up the microwave, see if she pisses her pants and forgets who she is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so she is like had this. She's woken up out of the coma, and then but she hears footsteps and whistling. That's when she lays down.
Yeah.
And that's when Buck Fuck comes in.
Yep.
With one of his buddies.
Yeah. And so, I mean, God knows how long that's been going on with her. And I think Buck, he met a rightful end at the end of this scene.
Dude, why? Oh my God. You know what I didn't need? I didn't need the level of detail where it's like, okay, you know what? Her pussy's gonna be pretty dry.
Right.
So here, use this Vaseline, and get the close up of the Vaseline
and
jar.
It looks dirty and nasty, and
like it's been on the floor, kicked around. Like,
yes,
it's just, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even set that prop up? Do you like go into somebody's like medicine cabinet and go like, all right, somebody go home into their medicine cabinet, find a thing of Vaseline, and we're gonna kick it around the floor of the set for a while.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna use it for the scene and get a real good close up of it. Make sure there's pubes and shit on it too.
Yeah,
just
and of course the guy, when he threw it to him, the other guy's like, "Fuck yeah," you know, and he's just holding it like he doesn't wipe it off or anything.
Oh God, so gross.
Yeah, the whole thing's fucking disgusting. And again, you know, Buck met a good ending at the end of this when she slammed his fucking head in that big metal door several times.
Can you stop hitting me?
Yeah.
that was a good line. He's like, obviously getting the it's knocked silly and says, "Can you stop hitting me?"
Yeah, and then she just fucking bow, and his body freezes up, and pretty brutal. But there's a lot of brutal scenes in this movie.
Yeah. This is just the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, and we didn't mention too that after she woke up, probably one of the, you know, the most meaningful scenes in this was when she wakes up and realizes her baby's gone. You know, she's feeling for her baby and she's freaking out. You know, it's like, ugh, yeah, I can empathize with that. So that kind of gave me that whole like, okay, I kind of see why she's so pissed off and why she wants to kill all these people.
Right now she has motive.
Yeah. But yeah, this scene had like the most heart out of any of the scenes in the rest of the movie. Now she did this thing. I don't know how real this is. When she like is looking at her hands and she sees like the prints in her hands, and can tell that it's been 4 years that she was in a coma. Is that a real thing, or do you think they just made that up for the movie?
It's not a real thing. I
don't think being able to analyze the lines in your hand can tell you how old you are or how many years?
No,
have passed?
because it's the dermis, right? So unless you've like, the skin's gonna grow dependent on its amount of usage. I mean, it's not like.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know shit about
like
fingerprints and handprints and.
Like if she's been in a coma all that time and like with muscle atrophy and you're not using your hands. Yeah. Like you're not exercising, and so the skin on your hand is almost never, like, you'd have no idea. Like, so no, I don't believe that that's a thing.
Okay. All right. I had no frame of reference as to whether or not that had any grounds in reality at all.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that, to me, just from a scientific perspective, like knowing how the skin grows and how it, no, I don't think so. But whatever.
Yeah, and I think they nailed the atrophy aspect of this pretty well. She's like dragging herself around on her fucking on her arms for a while, even getting into the pussy wagon truck. Like, she's looking around like, who could belong to somebody who has a keychain like this? She's like, Texas, and then boom, she just sees the fucking pussy wagon truck.
Brilliant.
Yep.
So here's the other part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the pussy wagon.
Yes.
Right, and she drives a pussy wagon, obviously long enough to get to Vivica Fox's house.
Mm-hmm.
The dude's dead in the hospital.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's two
Somebody's
bodies.
gonna find him with his head bludgeoned to death.
Right.
Yeah.
There's two bodies.
Yes.
She's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to look to see if his car is there, like, and put some sort of APB out. They're like, hey, let's see if the pussy wagon is fucking like,
right, because that guy's got to be well known amongst the whole staff at that hospital, like driving that truck.
You could go to the fucking local donut shop and be like, hey man, have you seen a pussy wagon drive by? It's like, oh yeah, I saw some broad driving it the other day. Like, oh, was she blonde? Sure, case. We've solved the case. Go find out where the fucking blonde broad driving the pussy wagon's at.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was looking for him.
No,
I don't. Apparently,
it was
people
probably
don't check.
like well, I think it was probably more of like a good riddance thing, right? They're like, oh no. Anyway,
never mind all the blood and the broad that was in a coma. Its body's gone.
Yeah.
Never mind all that.
Yeah, no, but if they found what's his name dead, then
who was
like,
paying that hospital bill? Like this?
Well, so she was property of the state. Somebody even mentioned at one point during one of these scenes that she was like property of the state because she was a Jane Doe.
Okay, all right. I didn't pick up on that, so I guess I can't rant on that. But who pays to keep that person alive?
Taxpayers.
And how many? Like, there's that many people in that kind of coma in one room.
I mean, if they're in a coma, who gives a fuck? If they're all just like clumped in like that.
That's not how the Force works, Jason.
I don't know. I don't work in a hospital.
And
I've never been in a coma, so
it'd be so ridiculous.
but like, how do you know
ridiculous?
It's not, like, have you been to a hospital? Have you been admitted to a hospital? And what's the first thing you always hear? Well, we don't have any room right now, but in a few hours, a room will open up.
Yeah,
they're always short on space in fucking hospitals.
Yeah, which makes having a room full of fucking comatose people just that much more odd. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know how he got on that. But anyway, so yeah, she pulls herself into the pussy wagon. And we get another scene with a close-up on a woman's feet. Tarantino he's got some issues, right? You know?
Yeah. That may be the most factual thing you've ever said, Jason.
I know, yeah, no, but like the foot fetish thing, it's like, okay, dude, come on. Like, he fucking zoomed in on our feet all over fucking Pulp Fiction. He drank fucking champagne off of Selma Hayek's toes in Dusk Till Dawn. Every one of his fucking movies always has close-ups on women's feet or long scenes on their feet.
Jason.
Yes.
Do not compare Uma Thurman's ugly ass feet.
I know.
To Salma Hayek's anything.
Well, but see, here's the thing. Like, I don't know why the foot fetish is what it is. That's not my thing. It's whatever. But if it's yours, hey, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you. I have my own weird stuff. But anyway, like, is that kind of a foot, that mangly fucking Uma Thurman foot? Obviously it looks weird to us, but to the foot fetish people, think like, oh yeah. Yeah, look at how the big toe is like shorter than all the other toes.
Look,
and how they're kind of hooked.
Look, if we know nothing else, the internet. I'm like somebody rule 34 Uma Thurman's toes.
I'm sure it's there.
I'm sure
there's
there.
probably one of Quentin Tarantino like fucking her feet together.
Yeah, that's look. The internet will provide.
Yeah.
People are fucking sickos.
Yeah. Well, one of them is the guy who directed this fucking movie.
Yeah. I did not need to have. I did not need to see and attempt to analyze. Like, well, did they wax her toes? Like, did they normally? Like, how clean are her feet at this point?
I have no idea.
Like were they like she was just. I don't need to think about her fucking ugly ass feet. I don't. I don't.
Yeah. But yeah, and it was just weird too because, like I said, the big toe was so much shorter than the others, and it was like it was all kind of hooked and just.
That's just fine. If that's your feet, that's fine. But
yeah.
I'd wiggle. Yes, wiggle your toe. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I understand you're trying to command your fucking body to move. Awesome. You do you.
Well,
put some fucking socks on.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't like socks. I don't like socks on feet. Like, so this is a thing for me. Is like I don't like socky feet. Oh no. Something just popped up in the Discord.
Oh boy. Is it Uma Thurman's feet?
Oh my god. I don't know.
I'm gonna look too.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is the shit that happens live, folks. Is it the in-show chat one?
Oh no. Oh no. Yes.
Oh, there it is.
God.
Oh god. Oh, the needle is just perfect.
The internet never fails to provide.
Nope, never.
Oh god. Anyway. No, Jesus.
But the whole wiggle your toe scene was another like long stretched out scene that could have been cut in half and we still would have gotten the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was I was going to make a point before that and I fucking lost it.
Well, we were talking about the feet and the toes and
obviously
Tarantino and his fetish.
Oh, fuck, I can't.
Drinking off of Selma Hayek's toes.
Well, no, we covered that.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Now, here's another thing I wonder too. Like, how long did these women probably think like, oh yeah, this is just a creative direction. This isn't this fucking director, getting his rocks off by filming these weird ass scenes of my feet.
Oh, they have to know it straight away.
You think so?
Oh,
like,
God,
you think it's Selma Hayek's pouring the fucking champagne down her leg and he's drinking it off her toes. She's like, oh yeah, he's totally getting off on this right now.
Broads are smarter than us. They can see our shit a mile away. There's no way that they didn't have that shit figured out from the jump.
Okay. Nope.
So they're smart enough to use that shit to their advantage. So
yeah. Well, I tell people all the time, men are very, very, very simple creatures.
They're simple and dumb, and
also true.
Ripe for being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
God damn it! I can't remember.
Okay. Well, I have no idea how we got off on this tangent anyway. So.
Feet.
Yeah. And this is around the point where we got to the 8-minute anime sequence detailing Orin Ishii's backstory, which, again, if you're an anime fan, they probably love this, right? And even as a non-anime person watching this, I'm like, okay, that was cool. That 8-minute sequence by itself was pretty cool. Very well done. But it's like, why that here at this point in the movie? Like, why did we, and it was 8 minutes long. Why did we need that 8-minute fucking anime sequence to see the backstory of this character who's going to bite it here pretty soon?
I didn't have as big a problem with getting into her backstory. I just wish that we had more of a backstory for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have the same backstory for Vivica Fox. She was dead in front of her kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we had, we don't get the benefit of like getting everyone's, like, we get the entirety of the backstory for her.
Yeah.
For Lucy Liu, and it's See you, Fran. Excuse me. Yeah, it's again Tarantino inconsistency, right? It's okay. I'm gonna give you this full backstory with the animation, and we're gonna run this character fully to ground.
Mm-hmm.
So she definitely is gonna die at the end of this.
Yeah.
In a fight scene that is questionable at best. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, and before we get to that fight scene, there were a couple other things. There was a shot in Okinawa where she goes and again as another
the fucking flying. Like, okay. you're going with the hokey, like, let's combine some animation and then like have some
showing a picture of the map and the plane going
right. Have
over
some
the
cheeky
map.
fucking fake airplane, flying sequence. Like it's 747. It's obviously like a child's toy. It's not even, the windows aren't even properly on it.
For the audience, if you can't tell, we have just hit the aviation geek button in the back of Dave's brain, so that's why this is coming from.
That shit drove me nuts. That and the fact that like, oh, okay, we're gonna get on an airplane that apparently has holders in the seats for their samurai swords.
Right.
Because
because everybody carries a samurai sword. She's carrying it through the airport, carrying it on the streets, because apparently everybody in Japan just carries their sword with them.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put my sword right here.
I've been to Japan a few times. I don't recall ever seeing anybody walking around with a samurai sword.
I would agree. Is definitely now Georgia coffee. Yes, like get a Georgia coffee out of the fucking machine, hot or cold. Absolutely, I'm there for it.
Yeah,
samurai swords, no, definitely not on the fucking airplane. But
right,
I digress.
And again, this was post 9/11 too, so
yeah, it was just a weird. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why show like, okay, here's your one-way ticket to Okinawa. With what money? Where are you getting money from?
Yeah. Did she?
Like, did the pussy wagon have a bunch of money underneath the seat?
Yeah, because she didn't sell the pussy wagon because she still had it after this, because that goes back to the beginning of this. Right. The Orin Ishii was the first name on her fucking list, and it was already scratched off when she rolled into Vivica Fox's.
Right. So she had to go to the airport parking garage.
Yep.
Right. Park the pussy wagon.
Yes.
Get a ticket for the parking at the lot. So she left the pussy wagon at the airport. So like, as the police are investigating the murder of Buck the fuck, they didn't even think to look at the airport where the suspect might have fled the country.
No, never crossed their minds
without a passport or a fucking money or luggage or anything.
Yeah.
We're just going to go with it.
Well, you know what? This could have been a deep cover-up, because maybe the hospital was still, after Uma escaped, the hospital was still claiming her. So, what are we laughing at?
Oh, this Dragon Buddy. This is a perfect alibi. Buck did it and then unalived himself with a door.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, the hospital.
Open and shut case, Johnson.
Yeah.
Some crack on him. Let's get out of here.
They could have been like, well, fuck, if we call the police, then we're going to have to stop receiving money for this comatose bitch that we've been getting paid for from the state. So
let's put Buck in the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. So fucking Buck died. Oh, no. Oh, no. And so we're not going to report this so that they never ask about any, bodies that we're still collecting money on that aren't actually here.
I like it.
Yeah,
that's you know what? That's a better storyline than we've gotten in the past fucking hour and 45 minutes of this movie. So let's roll with it.
All right, fair enough. So since she's not wanted for murder, she goes to Okinawa, and then we get another elongated scene where she goes into the restaurant and talks to the dude, and eventually winds her way over to the Japanese steel conversation.
Right. Blonde bimbo girl, like, suddenly has her touristy clothes in Okinawa, because that's how Okinawa is. Just wander in. Yeah. We've been to Okinawa, right?
Many, many times.
Many times. And Okinawa has some folksy type places where it's like I've had my shoes off and ate on the floor.
Oh yeah, me too.
And the fucking sushi is unparalleled,
obviously,
in those places.
Yeah.
But the idea of going, I don't know, whatever. That's not the one I'm hung up on here. But the problem is like him interacting with this other dude.
Yeah.
In there, the back and forth.
Yeah. And it's all subtitled
and the cheeky fucking. They don't like Americans like that.
Yeah.
They just don't. Like that's not. I mean, that is an exception. Like I know I've been in cabs and stuff, and in Okinawa in particular, it's not the place. That's not the place where it's like, oh, we love Americans. Like, no, it's more like, oh, Americans. You mean like the Marines that have been raping and fucking running people over with cars for like the past 40 years. That's what they remember. They don't really like us.
Remember, Marines, not Air Force.
Right. But it doesn't. They don't disassociate. And unfortunately, when you're in the back of a fucking, you're in the back of a cab and you hear the word gaijin like 5-6 times, like I need to get out of this cab.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It takes forever, but we eventually find out he's the guy who makes the Japanese steel swords. Also, through a lot more back and forth. What the hell was that?
Layla.
Okay. After a lot more back and forth, you find out that Bill was this guy's apprentice long ago, and that's probably where he got his current sword that we see a lot when he's talking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we get the 30-minute scene where she goes to Oren, Lucy Liu's headquarters, and proceeds to have the most bizarre, gory, hyper unrealistic fight scene.
Right.
Again, this is really where the movie loses me, because I'm not.
It took this long.
Yeah. I mean, I was,
because there's only, by the time we get to this point in the movie where she's in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Right. She's gone from Okinawa. She's in Tokyo, and there's like 30 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah.
So we've gone through an hour and 10 minutes to get to this point. And now we're suddenly like, we didn't talk about the part where Lucy Liu fucking in the, let's talk about, let's rewind for a second.
Sure.
You got Lucy Liu's in her, she's in that meeting with the other Yakuza.
Yes.
Right. And you got a dude, they're like celebrating something, and a guy like gets all frustrated, and he like hits the table and breaks something. Like, I legitimately think in that scene that dude cut his hand.
Yeah.
Like,
it looked real.
Scene, it looked like he really like fucking slammed his hand down and like hit like a ashtray or something and like cut his hand.
Yeah.
That looked genuine. Like,
yeah, I thought the same thing when I watched
hurt himself
it.
In that scene. I'm like, oh shit, look, like, because that shit. I'm surprised that we didn't see a bandage on his hand or anything later. Obviously, like when they cut his head off in a few seconds, it really doesn't matter what his hand looks like.
Yeah,
but it definitely looked like he fucking hurt himself doing that.
Yeah, and
then you get the bit where she kind of gets up on the table and fucking takes his head off.
Yeah. And like his stump is just like spewing blood fucking everywhere. Is that what happens when your head gets cut off? Is it like a just fucking thunderstorm of blood?
It doesn't. Your heart doesn't pump that way. Your heart just pumps.
Right. Because you would think it'd be
it'll
like,
spurt.
It'll
spurt, but it's not gonna like just be a constant.
Yeah, like a sprinkler almost, like. And just shooting like straight up.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. It's not. Okay. It doesn't like aerosol like that.
Okay. I'm sure we can go onto the dark web and find some videos of people being decapitated for real, and then we can analyze that.
Well, I'm trying to think back to the headless guy in Africa, like when we saw the dude's head get cut off. On the flight.
Sorry,
line.
I missed that trip.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. But
save it for the book.
Yeah, that's I can tell you that I wasn't close enough to see how much volume was coming out.
Mm.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
But, yeah, obviously the volumes that we're talking in the movie are unrealistic.
Yeah, because then once we get into the fight where she's fighting off all of Lucy Liu's people, like she's cutting off all these limbs and everything, and things are flying around, and it's like blood squirting everywhere. It's like, again, if this was real, it'd be one of the goriest fucking movies you've ever seen, but it's obviously meant to be.
How do you maintain your footing when there's that much blood around?
Can't be possible.
Like those are the best. That's the best pair of Pumas ever fucking made to fucking be able to maintain your footing in all that blood.
Yeah, but it's so over the top, and I get it. It's like not meant to be serious. It's not meant to be realistic, and that's whatever. But this scene just dragged on for so fucking long, and then halfway through, it switches to black and white for some reason.
It goes to black and white, right? Mm-hmm. And then it goes to, all right, she gets upstairs, and then they cut the lights out, and now it's a silhouette.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, how long is this going to last? So there's like the fighting with the silhouette. I'm like, dude, all right, you had all these elements that you wanted to include in your movie for fighting sequences. And you got that out of your system.
Yeah. And
no, wait, there's more, because we're going to have this exterior fighting with the snow and the fucking, get some more feet shots.
I will say, yeah, exactly. But I will say that was a pretty cool, like, setting for that fight. The snow being outside and all that. I kind of like that.
I agree. Well, Lucy Liu.
Yeah. Which, I mean, let's pause for a second and talk about her. Now, which version of Lucy Liu do you like? Do you like the flashback version where she's got kind of the shorter chopped hair? Or you like the one who's the queen bee, so to speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Yakuza leader one.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of the opposite. I kind of like the chopped hair in the flashback, but either way, quite the looker. And we'll leave it at that.
When did so this movie came out in 2003. When did that Charlie's Angels movie come out?
The one with Drew Barrymore and all them? That's a good question. Let's go to Google. So
ask the interwebs.
Charlie's Angels 2011? Really?
No,
that can't be right.
Nope, that's definitely not right.
It might be 2000. Yeah, 2000 was the year that movie came out. Okay. So
that makes more sense.
Yeah, that was 3 years before this. So yeah, Lucy Liu is a few years older in this than she was in that.
Uma Thurman is a slightly more believable action person than Drew Barrymore.
That I'd buy.
Slightly. Did you see the fucking Charlie's Angels movie?
Long time ago. Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Anyway, yeah, so like throughout this whole fucking 30-minute sequence, she kills like a handful of her lackeys, and then like the crazy 88 all come into the room, and that's really where I'm like, really? And she fights every single one of them off and eventually kills or dismembers every single one of them without ever getting hit.
Right.
Like,
well, so yeah, the what I do like, that's tangential to whatever all this stuff's going on, but the gratuitous use of the Wilhelm scream.
Oh God, yes, yeah. They used it at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and there is when it's slowing, like when there's the slowing down, you hear the moans and kind of like screaming and stuff in the background.
Yeah, yeah. All the guys who are still alive.
Yeah, and I'm like that's a completely unnecessary level of realism for what you just displayed. But you can only imagine, like, because those people haven't bled out yet. It's like a Civil War fucking battle scene out there.
Yeah.
It's like just blood and fucking just body parts and shit. Just people bleeding out everywhere. Like the noise would just be amazing.
It would be something.
It's definitely like I said, I was like, oh, okay, that's a nice little touch to have that.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Didn't you already do that?
I don't think so. Anyway, where were we?
Blood.
Yeah, lots of blood.
Lots of blood. We haven't gotten outside yet to where Twinkle Tits is.
Yeah, Lucy Liu. Or Oren Ishii.
Sure. Sheena E. We haven't gotten outside the Sheena E yet.
Yeah, so she eventually kills all of the fucking 88, which again, I'm sorry.
The Delta 88s.
I know it's not meant to be realistic, but seriously, if we took the greatest swordsman to ever exist on this planet, put them in the middle of a room, and then you, me, and fucking 85 of our listeners all picked up samurai swords and ran in there with no experience, we'd still probably get him. Collectively. He would not be able to fight off all 88 of us. That's just, I don't know. That bothers me.
There's a part of me that says human beings in their very nature, like it really depends on how badly you are, how determined are you to overwhelm this person, because humans are survivalists, right? So they're going to not fall on the sword, as it were. Like if you had that many bodies and everyone just rushed on them and just tackled the guy and just started piling bodies on top of him, kind of like they do in the Matrix, right? Where they just we're just going to stack bodies on top of the person. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Because then you can't move your arms to try and fight back or do anything else.
Sure.
But those first few people are going to get cut down.
Yeah.
So those people have to be willing to play Operation Human Shield to fucking to do it. And
but I mean, eventually Operation Get Behind the Darkies would win.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not, humans aren't like that. Everyone wants to stand there and go into like their battle fugue and try and fight. Yeah. And I think you just be in this line of like, okay, when is it my turn? And a lot more people get killed that way. Just saying.
All right, fair enough.
And when people are throwing shit, like I'm not trying to give a level of realism to this fight, but I can just, like, when they're throwing axes and shit and missing and hitting other people, I mean, that's entirely believable. Yeah, gunfights were between police officers and suspects that happen. They're 6 feet away from each other and fire entire magazines and never hit each other. It's just how it is.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Do I think that you're going to take out 88 people and come out unscathed so you can go out and fight in the snow? Probably not.
Right. And Lucy Liu even mentions that too when she says, "I hope you saved your energy." Right. But
sword doesn't get tired. You, on the other hand, might not last 5 minutes.
And really back to the 88 thing. I got one more thing to say. It's fine. Again, I know this is not supposed to be realistic, blah, 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 blah. But you didn't have to show us her killing every single one of the fucking 88 people in what felt like an eternity.
Except for the one. So that one was a child. The one that she's like smacked with the fucking sword and sent him home. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, the scene just dragged on so long. It's like you didn't have to, like, again, like, I see where you're going, just we don't have to see every single one of them all get cut down.
Why would you, if you're fighting somebody, why would you tightrope on top of this banister when you have a perfectly good piece of floor right next to you that you could fight on? Why would you deliberately give yourself a disadvantage? Doesn't make any sense to me.
No. But again, clearly they're not going for realism here.
Right.
So, and then, yeah, after all that, she makes her way to Lucy Liu. They have a little bit of dialogue, not much. And then they have their fight, and she eventually cuts her down.
Right. Scalps her somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You see the fucking hair come off.
Yeah. But the brain was still nicely curved. Like, if it was a straight lop, her brain should have been flat because some of her brain matter should have come out. But instead, it was like she just hit the back of the skull and just popped a part of the skull off.
And honestly, that wouldn't kill you.
Yeah. She would have needed to take some brain with her.
Well, I mean, you go into shock, and the shock could kill you. But that's
true.
You know what? She probably like that cut that she got on her leg had probably as much of a chance of killing her as anything.
Right? Because
that first shot in her inner thigh, where you got the blood coming down, so you could see her socky foot.
Yep. And
that's what I was going to get into. See, fucking X-Acto knife. It's a problem when I'm at home. Kyberlite in the back.
I don't know.
No, if you're talking about this.
Oh, there's something in the chat.
Yeah. This is my Black Series Vader saber.
It's very nice.
It's very nice.
I was going I was
was
going for Borat. I think you were doing Forrest Gump.
So no, I was going to talk about like wearing socks.
Okay.
Like, I cannot wear socks without shoes.
Okay, so like even if it's cold and you just want to have socks on your feet, you don't like go with socks and walk around?
No.
Wow.
If I have socks on, I have shoes on.
Wow.
If I don't have shoes on, shoes on, there's
it
no
has
socks.
to be bare feet.
Right. That's just how it is. How it is. And if you have if Kathy has socks on, she can't not in bed. Like,
really?
Like, I can't have a socked foot touch me. If that happens, I will lose my fucking mind.
Oh my God. Really?
I will lose my mind.
Why?
Dude, I don't know.
Where did the sock touch you?
I don't know. I don't know where the sock hurt me, but it literally is a thing. I just can't do it.
And you can't be touched by another person's socked foot.
No. Nope. If it happens, I will react violently. Like, I shit you not. I don't know. I don't know. But this is the thing. So like when I'm looking at her, like Lucy Liu, she's got like her sandaled foot, right, with her ninja sock on. I'm looking at that going like she's in the snow, like that's gonna get wet. Like you're gonna have this wet sock on in the snow. Oh my God, what the fuck are you doing? Take your stupid socks off. No, socks and slides? Really? I can't. I can't even. Yeah, Rick, it's your fault. I know that I'm an old man because I look at kids walking around with fucking socks and Crocs on, and it makes me want to start running people over with a car. I like, how are you outside like when I see my daughter like that? I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
Right.
And I know like Crocs are now in a perfectly acceptable form of footwear. I know nurses wear them and they're comfortable and blah, 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 blah. But just the fucking sight of kids walking around, like I was watching kids, they're walking, it's raining outside, raining, and they're walking like from the Deffert Mall, and they've got their slides on with fucking socks, their feet are getting wet, it's fucking raining, and I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like your feet are getting soaked, like you're like, what? This is God, it's the worst. It's the fucking worst.
God, that's hilarious.
I can't even. Like it makes me like it makes my neck like tighten up. I just want to hurt people.
We're learning a lot about Dave tonight.
It's just fucking oh God, it's the worst. Kathy will tell you, man. Like the whole sock thing, I can't.
Will she ever fuck with you and like start
Oh, yeah.
her socks
Oh
on
yeah,
you?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, I react violently though.
Oh boy,
it's not good. I can't. I know exactly what it is too. There's no like faking it. I know it's like, oh, this is a socky foot. No, no, absolutely not.
Oh God.
Anyway,
that's great. Well, that's the most entertaining thing we're gonna get in the whole Kill Bill discussion, I believe. So. Yeah, she cuts fucking Lucy Liu's head off almost, and then we get that scene of Bill with the French girl, which she was pretty damn attractive too. The French, Japanese speaking assistant to
right.
Or her lawyer, I think she was.
Right, the lawyer, best friend, whatever.
Yeah, pretty
armless.
Yeah. By the end of it, yeah, she was fucked. But yeah, we just see her talking to Bill. Kind of giving him a recap, and then he asked the question, does she know her daughter is still alive? And just boom, that's it.
And then scene.
Yeah.
And
you're watching, you're like, what the fuck?
No, I mean that ending made all the sense in the world. Like why bring the whole daughter into it at all if I don't know. I mean, I had seen the movie before, even if it was like in the background, so I kind of knew that the daughter thing was there. So it's not. It's funny. I could hear my voice coming out of your headphone going into your microphone. Yeah. So I knew it. I kind of knew it was out there, but I still like it didn't hit me that hard as like this like huge thing.
Like you saying when you watched it the first time.
Well, I don't even like the first time it didn't even whatever. I don't even remember it really being a thing at all. This time, even sucks and slides, motherfucker. This time, when Uma Thurman in the very beginning with Vivica Fox was saying, "Oh, I would have a daughter that's about 4 years old right now," I'm like, "Oh, this is foreshadowing into the fact that this daughter is going to be alive."
Oh, gotcha.
Like it just was like, bruh. It just seems for a Tarantino movie, it just seemed like very obvious. Whereas I'm used to a Tarantino movie, like this shit should have been buried fucking 15 layer deep in some fucking in some background noise that we should have never even saw unless we saw the movie 15 times.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I can remember when I watched this the first time, being a little intrigued by that final reveal, like, oh, she's still alive. Okay. And I still watched the second part, but overall, I kind of feel today the same way I did back then, where it's like, I see why people would enjoy it. Not my thing, because I don't get the references for the most part.
Now, I don't besmirch any, I'm not going to say like, oh, how can you even like this piece of shit? No, I totally like, there's definitely elements to the movie that I can see why people like it. Right. But it's not my bag at all.
Yeah. And like in the age of movies like John Wick and all that, I can see why this might still have a long appeal.
Yeah, but see, John Wick, the difference between this and John Wick is that John Wick's not trying to be anything but this is John Wick just going and just murdering everything in front of him.
Right.
Like how can this guy be more of a killing machine? And in what ways? Like it's, I don't know. I don't put this and John Wick in the same category even. Like John Wick's not a kung fu movie.
Right.
It's not a Ronin trying to go and like, or maybe it is. Like in reality, that's probably closer to what it is, but not so much. And it's not, the movie's not in a kung fu style. It's not stylized.
You sound like you said cut fu.
No. Throat's actually starting to hurt.
No, I bet. Hold on a second. Can you take the Rocky Road ice cream out of the fridge? Question mark.
Ice cream shouldn't be in the fridge.
Freezer. I mean, fuck. Hang on. I meant the freezer. No, not I'm at the freezer. I meant the freezer. Jesus Christ. Apple. All right, so what are we doing? What are we talking about? I think we're done.
Yeah, John Wick is a Ronin movie. Yeah, but it's not filmed like it's a samurai movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I it's just not for me. I was hoping that it would give me something that I didn't pick up on before.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. That's why I wanted to rewatch it, for this anniversary, because I'm like, maybe I'll see what I didn't understand when I was 24 or 3, however the hell old I was.
It's 20 years ago, right? 20?
Yeah.
I was 28 when it came out.
So I'd have been 26. Which, I didn't have my shit figured out until I was about 40. So
I still don't have my shit figured out.
I pretend at least.
So smooth.
Yeah. Hold on. Nope.
My penis so smooth.
See, the best part is, like, at least you're not familiar with those buttons. I do the same thing, and I'm the one who put the buttons there.
That is true. So, yeah, I think that's really all we have to say about Kill Bill. Do we got anything else on the docket? Maybe some sidebar family happenings.
We have some ATSW family happenings.
Okay, so do we want to?
So the tough part about this is that I don't know what I sound like. Like, I have no feedback mechanism at all.
Right.
Because usually in the studio, I have like some feedback.
Yes, in the headphones. Yeah.
In the headphones. Turn my headphones up. Like, I don't have that.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So it's weird because
do you like use that to fine tune the sound?
There is an element to doing a voice, like having to kind of get that feedback mechanism so that you can actually be doing it right. Because otherwise, I'm just doing it. Like Hank is easy because Hank, I've done it so often that I don't have to think about it.
Right. Kristen had a cheeky response to my request.
Your refrigerator request?
Yes.
Taking the ice cream out of the fridge?
Yeah.
So I think we'll give Tom the night off.
Oh, okay.
And we'll have Hank.
Since Hank
should be able to do it. Right?
I'd like to think so. I mean, yeah. He's a smart guy. He may sound simple, but he's wise.
I think I'd just like to tell people that just because the Cowboys won a goddamn game, that they're not all that in a bag of chips. You heard it here first. They still suck. Dallas sucks. And, that's all I got to say about that. I'll tell you what.
Now, Hank is. I know Kathy's there in the house. Is she going to be upset when she hears you? I know there's a history there.
I don't think she's within earshot right now.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
so I should be okay.
We'll keep it on the lowdown.
Maybe I'll go down to a whisper. Nothing thrown at me. Let's see here. ATSW family happenings. Snooch, Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy are reviewing second half season 2 of Loki on Wednesday. Don't miss ATSW The Escape Pod at 19:05 7:05 Eastern on YouTube. The live chat is where it's at. I had something to say about stealing signs or something. Let's see, it's turning. It's turned. It turns into something else because I don't have the feedback.
Right. It's still good.
Layman's Terms released Bubba Hotep and Organizing Magic Cards on YouTube this past week. Check them out and give them a sub. Oh, shit. If I can put the lid on this.
Oh, my God.
Stab myself again.
Nice.
Let's see. That Organizing Magic Cards on YouTube this past week. Check them out and give them a sub on Layman's Terms for your primary source of ignorance and drunken banter on YouTube. That's where you would do it, on YouTube. Tell you what. 3PO. The Orange and Fetch Show released podcast episode 9-6. Arthur C. Clarke's 2001, 2010, and 2061, and 3001.
Man, they were really trying to one-up us. Or five-up us.
Yeah, they did all the things.
Yeah.
Find them on Spotify and Apple. No news from Sweet Studios or Frogmore Art this past week. Used and Abused and Stranger Things Has Happened are both on break until at least January. Follow them all on the socials for updates. You can find us at bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina, where you can find our links to Patreon, YouTube, our audio podcasts on Apple, Audible, and Spotify. And all social media platforms, including X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok and Discord. I don't do the TikTok. That would be on the computer, and
right.
I don't do those things.
Yeah.
I prefer my good old fashioned. You know what?
You don't have to.
You know what? Never
anything.
mind.
Yeah, just
whacking
stay on target.
Whacking off in the tool shed.
That's not you. That's somebody else.
That's Mr. Anderson. Oh no, that's those damn boys. Those cowboys. Where was I?
TikTok.
Once you get on the bio link, simply click the symbols under our pic and go to your platform of choice. You can also find all of our past Spotify music mixtape playlists. Also in our bio link is our TeePublic merch shop. You have our Jason Rose design, the super sexy Twi'lek sidebar chick, our beloved Hennifer design, F Cancer written in Auerbesh, and a couple of From a Gen X Point of View throwbacks. Do you realize that if there was a stranger reading all of this, that this would make absolutely no goddamn sense whatsoever?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like if you really pulled some random, like, hey fella, come over here and read some of this language here.
Would you ask him like that?
Sure.
Hey fella, come over here.
Look, that's how we talk down in Texas.
Well, that's the whole steers and queers thing, I guess.
Yeah. I forgot the next line.
What? The steers and queers?
Right.
And I don't see
Only
any
have
antlers on your head, son, so that pretty much narrows it down.
Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Somebody look that up.
Yeah.
There are t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers and pins, wall arts, magnets, notebooks, laptop cases, pillows, just about anything you can imagine. Haven't seen a pillow in a hot minute.
Yeah, it's around. It never mind.
Mm-hmm. I'll bet it is. It's probably there with some socks. Just make sure you tag us on the socials with your sidebar merch. Reviews. There's no reviews.
Nope. Hence, no Hennifer.
Please write us a 5-star review on Apple or Audible. Don't have an Apple or Audible account? Our Facebook page has a review feature too. Just screenshot your review before you hit done and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. Also, do it on Spotify, because Spotify has a rating system.
Yes, they do.
So if you go on Spotify, you go ahead and download the podcast.
Yep.
And then you can rate the podcast. Take
Also,
a
yes.
screenshot of what you rated and then DM that to Lunar Girl. Does all that make sense?
Are you really trying to stretch this out like in Kill Bill?
No, because I don't understand it myself, so I'm trying to say it slower
Okay.
so that other people understand it.
Gotcha.
Because that's what Hank would do.
Fair enough.
Because he's a simple man.
Oh, I can tell.
Anyway, do what I just said, and then, and you will do it. This is your chance to tell us your thoughts on the show. Jason or Hennifer Lopez or Hank, guess that's me, or Edith or Mama or drunk Tom Brokaw, if he can get off the shitter, or someone fun will read your review word for word on our next episode. Let us know who you want to read it. Finally, if you catch us on Spotify, help us out and click those stars. See, there it was. Go ahead. Do the thing. If you're listening to us on audio, please consider joining. Thank God the lid's on this. God damn, I just stabbed it right into my head.
Jesus Christ.
If you're listening to us on audio, please consider joining us in the live chat on Mondays. The chat is most definitely where it's at. If you're new to Sidebar, please subscribe, ding that bell, select all to receive notifications when we go live. Remember to smash that like button. It really helps us out. And that's all I got.
All righty. Well, thank you, Hank. Or we might have to start calling you Joe Biden.
Is that what it sounds like?
Well, no, more the you're like doing things like almost stabbing your head and.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. It's my brain. It's so big.
Yeah.
I know.
So, you done?
Probably.
Right. Next week, we are back to Star Wars. We are talking Thrawn Ascendancy.
Yes.
I'm still working through the audiobook. Dave, have you reread the hold on if I can reach the nope.
The sacred Jedi.
Nope.
The sacred
The text
Jedi
is-
pops.
No.
I don't think he's got it on his.
No, it's not. But
Okay.
here's the texts right here.
Yeah, the sacred text.
No, because grad school. But
Oh fuck, that's right.
but I have read it, so I will skim it and be ready for conversation.
Excellent.
Excuse me. So yeah, Thrawn.
Yeah.
Getting some Thrawn.
And be forewarned, there will be a significantly long Black Series reveal next episode. And again, Tom, you definitely want to tune in for that one.
Who buzzed? Was that you?
Yeah, it was my weather app. Hold on.
Oh.
Do you want to know what it said?
Yeah.
It's a precipitation alert in Orlando. They're expecting rain tomorrow.
Oh well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you care?
I don't, but apparently when I searched for Orlando when I was down there earlier this year, it stayed in my weather bug app, and now it gives me notices for Orlando.
And you just leave it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going back to Orlando in February, so it'll be there.
In
When the time
February.
Yeah.
So you got to put up with those notifications till February.
It doesn't happen all the time.
That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
Thank you, Hank.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. So anything else before we close this up?
Nope. I think Kathy heard me say that one.
Oh, I saw you look it up there. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's actually a little bit shorter this week. So, and thanks for all the YouTube watchers who, adjusted accordingly when we went live early today. And we'll see you all next week with some Thrawn Ascendancy.
Yes.
Good night.
Hit the button, Jason.
No, this is where you say...
Are you ready?
Yeah, I've been ready.
Oh.
I've been ready since the first take.
What was the first take? Okay, now what do I click?
Jesus.
I didn't know what you were doing.
I was reaching over, ready to...
Well, I'm looking at the thing. It doesn't say...
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you're hitting
Well, yeah.
the button. You're not hitting the stream. So then
so we're still
just,
live, technically.
That just looks everything. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready to go. I'm like, I have that like fever head swelling.
All right. Well,
So
best of luck with that.
Thanks.
And keep your germs on that side.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll go to work tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be fine.
All righty. Well, you have a good night, and everybody else, you also have a good night.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya.